Hello and welcome to today's historic best of 3 deck tech gameplay video on red-green energy aggro, or Gruul aggro, or whatever you want to call it. The Gruul energy aggro deck is pretty self-explanatory. It is an aggro list that uses some of the energy cards, admittedly mostly from Kaladesh proper, from which is the origin point of all energy mechanics, with the exception of one new energy card that came in basically Jumpstart Horizons, is what I'm going to call it for the sake of this, in Longtusk Stalker. Another way, basically, to generate energy, and also a way to sort of buff your creatures in your hand, which is just a nice little bit, but really it's there for energy generation. The activated ability is nice. But with that, we use a lot of other energy cards, like Voltaic Brawler as just a generally good, pretty aggressive energy creature, and cards like Bristling Hydra as sort of our like high-end, top-of-the-curve energy payoff. And we also run, besides the energy cards, just kind of generically good Gruul cards, like your Burning-Trees and your Gruul Spellbreakers of the world. We do have some supporting cast of cards, like your Harness Lightning for removal, your Bonecrusher can also be removal, Toski for card draw. We also have a little bit of, we'll say utility in land base, like in your dens and your Boseijus and such, to give us access to some bits and pieces of tech here and there. We also do run Aether Hub. It's not a fantastic land, but it's not an awful land. It's a fantastic budget land if you want to try and budget this list, which one can do with relative certainty. Sideboard, pretty self-explanatory, just a collection of silver bullets, Abrade for removal or artifact hate, a single ooze for graveyard hate, Klothys for much the same thing, Cindervines against control decks can also be artifact or enchantment hate, Rampaging Ferocidon against the life gain decks that just are very popular in the format as a whole. Sweltering Suns, I'm running it for removal. If you have an Anger of the Gods, then by all means run an Anger of the Gods. It's just not worth burning the wild cards to change it. Shifting Ceratops for your more mono blue tempo or just blue shenaniganery. And Chandra Awakened Inferno for some anti-control tools, since it can't be countered, and basically allows a deck that can already go kind of longer than a normal aggro, a Gruul aggro list in the base game. Cards like a Chandra allow it to go even further and have a little more reach. And that's the basic deck tech. We'll go now into game number 1. And game number 1 with our Gruul Energy Aggro. Again, we go first because we have a brain. This is not a great opener, so we're going to try and get a 2-lander. Oh, that's infinitely better. One card we didn't really talk about in the deck tech was the Greenbelt Rampager. We'll go ahead and keep this, by the way. We'll get rid of the Bonecrusher, why not? The Greenbelt is a nice little way to also generate a little bit of extra energy here and there for the various cards in our deck that happen to use it. Worst case scenario, we can also just use it as a okay little creature. Land a War from our opponent. Go ahead and play this on red. Get some more energy. Next turn, we can play a Gruul Spellbreaker. See what our opponent's running. Simic Sleeves, Land of War. Doesn't really tell us anything. Okay, so it is just elves. We might actually be in some trouble here, as elves can go a little bit wider than we can. Yeah, this is not going to look great. We're just going to try and be aggressive here. Let's see. Shepherd, Lookout, Land of War. This is the first elf stack I played against in a hot minute, to be fair. Here be mono green elves. Nice fucking card. Yeah, it's a little rough. I am not totally convinced of our ability to win this. Again, go ahead and just try and present some blockers here. We almost certainly lose, so we're just going to try and go faster. It's the only real practical option that is really there for us. If our opponent gets any sort of real lord, we are in some serious trouble. Kind of like that. Oh man, that's really, really not good. I mean, we cannot attack, but we almost certainly just lose this turn. You can activate the Wardmaster or his Shepherd. Yeah, he's won. There's... it's almost... So I don't think that there's any way we win this. This is so far our opponent is polite. There are decks that, like Elves, can go faster. Jesus Christ. Can go faster than us, but usually we're a relatively fast deck. It doesn't really matter what we do. I'm just blocking for poignancy. Yeah, oh good, we have 1 health left. Really gonna make a lot of use out of that. Okay. Not fantastic. I guess we just bring in Abrades and some Sweltering Suns. Maybe some Ferocidons, actually. Punish them for going a little bit wide. Rampager is cute, but almost always useless. The Cub is pretty much useless, as we can only generate the energy from the Longtusk Cub by hitting their face in combat, and we're not really going to have that opportunity. Go first. We did hit some of our tech card, which is nice. We would love to have a card that I can emissary into. Probably plays... Okay, I mean... That's a choice. I think I'm going to actually just Burning-Tree next turn, and then we'll pop up with all that jazz. Weirdly, them taking a turn off for the Sanctuary is kind of nice, in that it just buys us an extra turn. And we are in a position now where we'll just take whatever we can really hope to get. I'd be somewhat surprised at their deck to have the ability to, like, really do removal. I mean, you might run... Oh, well, you, as in the opponent, might run the occasional, like, Primal Might or Fight effect, as that being the only real effect mono green elves can have. Actually not that bad. I think we'll go ahead and get 1 Rampaging Ferocidon. Attack with everybody. If they take trades, we're more than happy. I don't think they do, as they're in a good spot here. I know we've left the Archdruid alive, but it's not going to live another turn. My hope is with the Ferocidons we can... hopefully somewhat dissuade them from going too wide. But our opponent might just sort of take that risk. They are going to get a card from the Sanctuary, which is not fantastic. What are they doing? I'm very confused. Huh. That's so weird. What do they do here? So, what, next turn... Okay, I think we will attack. See where they block, and if they do. Since we drew the Sweltering Sun, I think we can afford to... get a little aggressive here. It's Menace, you're gonna have to do some very aggressive blocks. Okay, so yes, the Shepherd dies first. Archdruid dies first, right? Okay. So then we 3 to everything, and that should, I think, kill their board. I believe. Good. We do have a Spellbreaker next turn with haste if they can't generate any sort of defender. But that was a word, very hopeful. Okay. Honestly, I think we just go haste and keep applying pressure. We're in a very weird way, like very close to killing them. Because you have to double block, otherwise the trample kills them, they know it. If we draw an untapped land, we can always din next turn if they don't present any blocker. Another Collected Company, it's not great. And then we just sometimes draw a Bonecrusher and kill him. Okay, I didn't expect to win that game at all. I gotta be honest, Elves is not a deck I had really run into during my several weeks of testing. So I was like not the most confident on our deck's ability here. I think we just run it again. Our initial sideboarding strategy was pretty sound, and I see no real reason to go ahead and mess up a good thing. Maybe we can get this last game out. Will likely depend on our draw going relatively well. One-landers like this are not good. Okay. Guess we'll go ahead and get rid of the Spellbreaker. It's not great in that we have no real interaction, but we don't want to go from anything below 5, since pretty much all decks, once you go below 5, have a really rough win rate. Do the Stalker, I guess. See what our opponent plays. An Elvish Warmaster. Go ahead and attack. Just looking to make our board nice, big, and scary. He probably doesn't take this block. I'm not like over the moon about having to shotgun lands against this deck, but we'll take it. If our opponent attacks with the Warmaster, I think we throw away the Brawler. But they, honestly, probably correctly so, do not take that trade. Go ahead and get the Ruins. We will... Okay, so we'll go ahead and activate the Longtusk now. Well, we have the 2 energy now. We'll buff our Spellbreaker, further inclining them to block. Spellbreaker will be played with haste here. Now, why do you have... Oh, it's giving him Lair activation. Okay, so if we attack... So this should be the first that resolves. So we can get the energy from the Stalker, spend it on the Brawler. Right now we are weirdly in the driver's seat, aggression-wise, even though we should be playing the controlling deck. Talking about assuming roles that you'll see a lot of people correctly do. That is 100% the correct line of play. 4 land, a Collected Company would kind of suck. Scavenging Ooze is a thing, but you weren't blocking to get the life gain out of it. You either have to have something, or you just accept the loss. Fair enough. Pretty good game, honestly. Not too terribly. We'll go on now to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Gruul energy list. Again, we play first because we have a brain. A 2-lander. It's not too bad. We don't have a turn 1 play, but it's good enough that we're not gonna, you know, shit on a good thing. I think we'll go ahead and just play the Voltaic Brawler. Next turn maybe a Gruul Spellbreaker, but we'll have to see what our opponent does. Oh, they have the Froggo. Wow, another elf. Okay, that's not really what I had in mind, but that'll work. In that case, I think we'll go for a red here. We're just going to go ahead and stomp their War Master now. We'll likely have to, again, assume the role of the control player post-sideboard games. For reference, in case people at home who are watching this didn't know, when I set out to record a video for Historic, after however long, I don't make any sort of, like, plans. As in, I say, okay, today is a recording day. Then I just record games in a row until I get the, like, 2, maybe sometimes 3 video, or games for a video. So the fact that there are 2 back-to-back, what's the word? There are 2 back-to-back elves list is purely coincidence, and I had no real, what's the word? Choice or input on that. I'll take it, because we've now shown that I can actually, you know, get it. But that's the reasoning behind that, and a little bit behind the scenes. Attack with the Brawler now. Go ahead and pay the energy. This will be an important question for them. Let's say if they choose to block. We do get a card draw, but a card draw out of it. I suppose the next question, depending on what they play, I think our game plan is going to remain largely the same. Maybe we Spellbreaker and maybe we Longtusk Cub. I would have kept that for a combat trick. I love Wildborn Preserver. I think that card's really cool. I don't know if it's good, but it's very cool. Okay. That is a little weird. So I think we'll do Aether Hub. We'll go ahead and Gruul Spellbreaker with haste, hoping they block the Spellbreaker with the Preserver, so that we can get a good stomp out of it. We'll go ahead and cash in our energy here. We'll have to see where our opponent chooses to block. If they block nothing, I think we just kill the Perfect. Now that I think about it, let's just kill the Perfect. I was trying to be cute when I can just screw their whole board. Yeah, my brain wasn't working. I was trying to be too cute, which is a problem of mine when it comes to things like this. Another Aether Hub is nice for some additional brawler damage output. Running Land of War Tribe. Alright. I applaud your commitment to the bit. $1,000,000 question. Do I activate the Den? You have, what, 1 mana? I think we activate the Den, right? Also can turn into some card draw. Now. Again, we cash in the energy. One of the reasons why we run Aether Hub is not even because, I mean, the fixing it can give you is nice, but just having, again, additional sources of energy for our energy payoff cards is lovely. He lets Lethal through. Exacties, but yeah, we'll take it. I do maintain that our basically original sideboarding plan from Game 1 largely remains. The Ferocidon might not be fantastic if they're running Land of War Tribe, but we haven't figured out what exactly they're trying to do, other than, you know, play elves and make a big wide board of elves, like all elf players do, as they are wont to do. So, but until we have, my original point being is, until we have that information, we'll just go ahead and assume that their elf list, while it might be different on a micro level, on a card by card level, we will assume they're basically trying to do the same thing until they play cards like Evolving Wilds. Sorry, that totally threw me off. And then you just get a forest. Why are you running that card? I'll take what I can get. I'm not picky. Again, what I meant to talk about also. A 2-lander with, as you can see, several things to do with at minimum 2 mana if we happen to basically run dry is pretty nice. Go ahead and lair into a Burning Tree. I guess the question is, what do we run? Do we leave a mana on the table? They've shown they have Wildborn Preserver, so I'm gonna let this green mana expire, only because when attacking with our 2 Fervent Champions, they will, or Javier Dominguez, they will buff each other, making them each other 2-power attack with first strike, so they can take the trade advantageously. Kind of, yeah, okay, good. Good. Fair enough. I imagine our opponent has... Okay. Why Garrick's up? So are you more rampy? Hang on. Could you control trample? Enters the battlefield. If you control a creature for card. Okay. What the hell are you doing? We'll go ahead and Bonecrusher, since the Bonecrusher is the more narrow of the 2 removal spells right now. Again, another perk of having all of this energy generation is that Harness Lightning weirdly has not weirdly, by design has this ability to be I think we might have just one more variable in removal. It can be the 3 that it is capable of in a vacuum. It can be more if you have more energy. It can be removal and also netting some energy. Harness Lightning is pretty good for this deck and what it wants to do. So that's like a very nice little touch. I think we just play the Brawler, right? Anything they run with our Brawler and a Harness Lightning, I don't think there's really anything they play. I can just abrade whatever land they animate this turn. I'm very confused as to what their list is. I thought it was elves, and you have some elf cards in there, but then you have Nissa and Garrick's Uprising. We'll take the win. How long did this recording last? You know what? Because I'm this close to getting Mythic for the 3rd time, and this game took only 8 minutes, we'll go ahead and go to game number 3 and see if we can hit Mythic on camera. Odds are I'll probably try and grind it up off camera, but we'll see if I can give a little bit of a treat today. On to our Mythic game, maybe, possibly. And our surprise little will we hit Mythic game. It's a pretty goddamn good opener. A 1-drop, Burning Emissary, and then a 2-drop. Might as well keep it. We have no idea what our opponent's running. Klothys. Better 2-drop. I guess they probably attack this turn. And arguably as they should, to be fair. We let it through. Didn't respond with anything particularly. I think we're going to keep the Ramunap for later. So we're going to attack with the Longtusk. Gonna perpetually both the Stalker and the Brawler. Since we can give it trample, we want to make its power as high as we can to really cash in on this. Burning-Tree into the perpetually buffed, which is the purple text for those who don't know, card. We can now start generating enough mana, or not enough mana, sorry, enough energy with the Stalker Brawler combo to make some potentially scary things happen. A Hooded Blightfang. Stay tuned. You'll see more Hooded Blightfang in our next historic video for a little spoiler's the wrong word. But a little looky-loo into what the next video might be. What do we do here? Huh. Weirdly, I think we... Well, hang on. I can do... Okay, so I can buff this Stalker to 4. Buffing a Brawler. Playing the Brawler in question. Getting another 2 energy. Buffing the Stalker again. And we'll buff the Cub in our hand. This way, a Stalker can take a trade with a Blightfang if we need to. If we happen to just give away a Burning-Tree, it's, like, fine. And when we attack, we'll get energy from the Longtusk, which can power Voltaic Brawler. Next turn, we'll play the Aether Hub, so we can, in theory, activate both of our Brawlers. See where they happen to block. Yeah, I was pretty comfortable giving that trade up. Now, playing some... You have to be playing a reasonable amount of Death Touches to make Blightfang work. Faceless Haven. Okay, so you can't Faceless Haven. If you attack, that'd be crazy. We do only have access to 1 energy now, which is not fantastic. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I would have to roll day long. Right? Anywho, we'll go ahead and Aether Hub. Then we'll play the Stalker. It's not fantastic in that they just block the one I don't pump. But if they do block it, they are losing a Blightfang, which is clearly important to their game plan. You block the buffed one. I mean, okay. Let's see what our opponent tries to do. They do have access to a Faceless Haven. I am not blind. So is it, what, Mono Black Death Touch, I guess, as a list? Again, we play it through, which is totally fine. That is a fantastic draw. Go ahead and attack with the team, pumping the Brawler. Even if they trade the Scavenger into the Brawler, we're just happy to get Lifelinkers off the board. They let it through? Well, hold on. Okay, that might not be a bad play. So they hit for 2. They go to 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so that's not as initially awful as I thought it was. I still question the decisions, make no mistake of it. So you attack, go to 5, and then you go to 7. Oh yeah, that's not that great. Am I weirdly going to lose this game? That's so not what I expected to happen. I still think we attack here, because I think we're threatening lethal and they kind of have to block a little bit, right? The question is what they block. If they block with a Scavenger, which is the correct play by all accounts, they do get some life and they manage to crawl out of it. I am sitting on a Ruin, so maybe we can squeeze out a game 1 here. Blocks. Okay, so kills that, kills that. I'm not even sure how the math works out. Kills both of those, goes back to 7. We just play the Longtusk as a thing. We might actually lose. We certainly lose now because we don't have the ability to come back from that. Yep. I don't think there's anything that we play that saves us. Credit given to our opponent. We're going to have to play more controlling next turn, which is just a reality of things. So So I think, yeah, I think it's just Abrade, Ferocidon, and the Sweltering Suns. Rampage is not that good. As you saw, Longtusk isn't that good if you're never really going to be able to activate it reliably. You know, weirdly, maybe we get rid of a couple of Spellbreakers for some Klothyses. Maybe also a couple Fervent Champions or some Chandras. I think if we have access to enough control tools, Chandra more or less being here for her down-tick ability to 3 damage sweep a board of non-elementals. Play first. It's a 2-lander, but it's not great, but I think we kind of need to keep it. One of those we technically have things to do, so I don't think we're really in a position to, like, start complaining. Credit to our opponent. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not, like, awful. It's not great. But we can kind of make something happen here. Okay. A green source would be nice. So some sort of removal spell, I take it. Question is, feed the swarm. Oh my god, that was not a choice. I think we have to keep the Sweltering Suns. It's like too good in our base deck to like throw away a sideboard card. If we get like a single green card, we'd be, or not a green card, a green mana source, we'd be kind of cooking. Really not going that well. Kind of like that. That'll do. Now we can also start eating away at cards in their graveyard. Card types in your opponent's graveyard. Oh, fuck that card. I fucking hate that card. Basically, like, solely dumpsters. I need to get rid of cards in my graveyard to make his weaker. Fuck, I really hate that card a lot. Okay. This is not gonna be great. But I think we need to do this. If he takes the block, we only have to sacrifice 2 things. At which point, sacrifice permanents, we just get rid of our creatures. Again, we're looking to play the more controlling deck. And then we Sweltering Sun their board. We can also get rid of some lands. I'm not, like, over the moon about these. We gotta get rid of 3 permanents anyway, so I guess we just do you. This is not great. And our opponent might win because Phyrexian Obliterator basically dumpsters on any aggressive deck ever. Oh, you're killing me here, man. If I can draw a land, I can also then exile a land from my graveyard and make some shit happen. This is not great. Well, that's somehow even less great. I think we need to get rid of a type from my graveyard, lowering their Nighthawk's attack. This is not great. We're not in a good spot. And sadly, we're gonna probably lose this. We can actually make something happen there. Hold on. Give me a green, please. This way I can, like, feel the blocker. Again, I don't think we win, but this is one of those, like... They're gonna win this game solely because... Oh, we were fucked regardless. We basically lost this game because Phyrexian Obliterator dumpsters us. Yeah. It's actually over now. We don't have enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we're just gonna call it. Alright. We don't get to get Legend with this. Or Mythic with this. I'll probably grind for this off camera, but that was a fun little soiree. So, spoiler is that we didn't get there. We lost to a mono black player playing Phyrexian Obliterator, and that card dumpsters aggro decks, as it pretty much always will. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Remember to like the video if you liked it, sub if you like my content, and if you have any questions, that's what comments are for down below. Thank you, and have a great day out there.